Mic check, 1 2 1 2. Blessed morning, my beautiful peoples. You know who it is. It's your boy, 𝗙𝗔𝗿. If you pick up a little wind from the microphone, I apologize in advance, but I needed to get some vitamin D. My transparency is getting next level, and I don't want to keep shooting 5,000 IUs of vitamin D, like Casper the Cuban Ghost. So in the community board, I asked some of y'all, yo, what are some fire recommendations? I need some dope cheapies that maybe I don't have in my collection, or you want to pass this information on to a bigger audience, so I'm the middleman. I'm passing the knowledge on to the other students, coming from like a fake instructor. So as mentioned, all these fragrances should be $50 and under. So I'm gonna start off with a fragrance I do have in the collection, and that's by the wonderful people over at 𝗙𝗏, and that's 𝗙𝗏 Precious. Essentially what you're getting from 𝗙𝗏 Precious is a hint of 𝗙𝗏 Absolute with a little bit of a cinnamon and caramel twist. A beautiful fragrance. Now it is sometimes hovering over that $50 space, depending on how much hype there is in FragCom, but generally you can find it in that $50 space, and trust me, once the hype dies down, it'll start to trickle down a little bit cheaper. Great performance, amazing scent DNA, like everybody knows the 𝗙𝗏 DNA, and for me at this point, I'm hyping 𝗙𝗏 Absolute because I just love how the shit smells on my skin. So 𝗙𝗏 Precious is an amazing recommendation in that $50 space. Let's jump on to the next one, fam. Now I've seen a few of these fragrances around by the brand of Lagerfeld, but I'm not familiar with Bois d'Ambre. But I am familiar with the fact that I found that joint for $19, fam. You can't get a better price point for a fragrance that supposedly is bergamot, clary, sage, amber. I mean, I'll take it all day. So I'm assuming you got a little bit of a sweet, ambery, resiny type dew with a soapy nature. Sounds a little bit fuckboyish, but for $19, I'm willing to roll the dice. Why did I do that hand gesture? To see what type of vibes it's on. Lagerfeld has been around for a minute. Can we remember old heads Lagerfeld photo? What was it? The old school black bottle with the multicolored kind of Art Deco meets 1980s meets a lot of glass tables with a lot of white residue on it? So talk about curiosity and amazing price point. Yeah, Bois d'Ambre as an amber lover is something I'm gonna recommend. Have you smelled it? Let me know in the comments below. Next one. Somebody knew me extraordinarily well. Talk about a throwback. Guess 1981 Indigo. It's got fig in it. Sign me up, considering the joint is under 30 bucks. I legit think I found that joint for $14. Bro, that is almost Dollar Tree price point. Coconut, fig, lavender. Well, sign me up. I don't even need to know anymore. It's in the cart as we speak. Now, I haven't had a Guess fragrance in at least 12 years.
Okay.
And I don't know if it was Guess Pour Homme, but it was the G bottle. It's chrome exterior with the green glass. And that shit was a hit, bro. It was super cheap. It smelled absolutely amazing, because we all know you don't gotta spend a grip to smell fantastical. So fig, coconut, lavender, $14. Sign me up yesterday. Next one. Now this Lattafa fragrance I haven't gotten in my stash as of yet. I believe it's called Al Keim Gold. So apparently that's loosely inspired by Ombre Nomad, at least according to Fragrantica. So it's leather, raspberry, saffron, spices. Ombre Nomad is a beautiful and probably maybe the most enjoyable out of the LV fragrances. I mean, it's the one that I have. That's the one that I paid gray market pricing, because as I mentioned before, getting LV fragrances at like a budget price on the gray market is a movie. But Ombre Nomad is absolutely spectacular. You can definitely get that Lattafa under that $30 space. I think it hovers around that $25 point, but it's not one that I got. So best believe I'm calling Lattafa and be like, oh yeah, Habibi, I need that.
How Arab was he? He was so Arab that everybody liked him, and there was nothing funny about him at all.
And then I'll tell you if it's good or not. Next one. This one is a no-brainer. I own it. Nebula Starman is just flames, bro. It's pure malt in a cheaper variant. It's impossibly difficult to get pure malt nowadays, especially for a decent price. We can all sit here and reminisce of FragCom back in the day when I was able to. You can't anymore, bro. Leave it behind you, dogs. You're gonna be paying at least $150 for a pre-owned Mugler pure malt. So let that shit go. The illusion is gone. But Nebula Starman definitely scratches that itch with a beautiful peaty whiskey essence that's sweet, sexy, seductive, and cheap, fam. Also in that $25 to $30 space. Some websites you might potentially find it for like 22 to 24 bucks. I mean, it's a no-brainer. You can roll the dice all day. If you were a fan of Pure Malt and it's completely run out and you just can't seem to find one at a decent price, talk about a fantastical option that you definitely need in your repertoire. Next one. This one, I don't know, it was a hype for a minute. I don't know if you need it right now. It's still an incredible cheapie, don't get it twisted, and you can probably get it for like 19 bucks, but we're talking about Nautica Voyage. So you recommended Nautica Voyage, and for me that screams my father-in-law. That's one of his favorite fragrances. That's his go-to. He doesn't think of anything else. He doesn't care about fragrance. He just wants to smell ultra clean, and that's what you're getting out of Nautica Voyage. A very clean, saltwater, aquatic-y fragrance that's a bit juvenile, but it works every time. It has decent amount of performance, although I don't know how the variants are from batch to batch, and I don't know how the newer interpretations are. I don't even know if they're pumping new versions out. So the shit that you're gonna buy on the shelf for gray market dealers has probably been sitting there collecting all the dust it possibly can, waiting for one of you sausage wallets to pick that joint up for the low. So is it a must-have? I don't know if it's a must-have, but it's cheap enough that it's not gonna hurt the wallet. It will get you some sort of compliments. It is a very versatile daily wear fragrance, but there's really nothing exciting about that scent, in my personal opinion. But it isn't bad. Now, this fragrance in this brand had a bit of a hype, I wanna say at least 6 to 7 years ago, and that's the brand of 𝗬𝗪𝗔𝗀. And this one, I can't pronounce it, I can barely fucking read, but it's 𝗙𝗪𝗡, B-A-U-X, if I'm not mistaken. And that's on the higher price point. I think that one's in that 30, 40, almost $50 space. You'll have to shop that one around, but that one had a nice decent buzz around. I remember we used to pop into the 𝗬𝗪𝗔𝗀 store because I love the 𝗬𝗪𝗔𝗀 cream. Let's be clear, it's a perfect texture to stroke on the shaft and release some cock snot. So I would always go by the clearance section and hope that there's a fire fragrance for dudes that you can get like a wild deal, like you'll buy 10 lotions, get 2 fragrances free, or some ridiculous bullshit like that, whatever outlet deals that they usually offer. But that one I never got my paws on. Now that one apparently is like a peppery fragrance with ambery essences. I believe it's cardamom and cypress. So is it going to lean a little bit old schoolish fougere, slightly herbal? I think according to Fragrantica or some comment, it should be in the space of Joe Malone's Vetiver and Golden Vanilla, allegedly. I'd have to look into that, but it does sound interesting, and I remember that it used to have a hype bubble, so maybe it's bringing the hype back. If you recommend it as a must-have under $50 that we need in the stash, I'm listening. Next one. $15 for Bogart Pour Homme. This has always crossed my path and I never pulled the trigger on that fragrance. 15 bucks, I'm gonna have to probably get all of the fragrances mentioned on this list just to see what type of energy and time, and role reverse a little bit. So you guys kind of rely on my nose and our taste to align before you buy a fragrance. So in this particular case, I'm relying on your nose to see if it's a good recommendation, and again, to see if our noses align. Now, Bogart Pour Homme is Lily of the Valley, Orange Blossom, bergamot, cedar, patchouli, rose, and lavender. I'm getting a lot there. I'm getting clean, slightly earthy, maybe a little dry, maybe a little classical gentlemanly style vibes. All the things that give me 2 thumbs up, especially the price point. Have y'all tried the fragrance, and is it an absolute banger? Because it's in the cart as we speak. Next one. Another one that I always looked as an old man fragrance. I never picked it up. I'm sure I've smelled it. I definitely don't remember it. It's Jaipur by Boucheron, or Jaipur. Obviously the Homme version. That one just screamed to me cinnamonly old man from what I recall. Now I don't remember the notes. I think it was like a cinnamon, cardamom, patchouli-ish type of fragrance from the notes that I was looking up. I don't know if I'm excited to get that one. Let me know, get me excited about it. Is this something like, yo, Cuba, you need that one in your stash? You might just change your mind. Maybe you and Jock can test it out and see if it's traditionally classic and sexy for y'all. I don't know, fam, I don't know. I'm only 50-50 on the curiosity tip, but it's not expensive at all. There's a ton of gray market dealers that are gonna be selling that fragrance, so should I pick it up? Let me know in the comments below. Now, finally, the last fragrance is by the brand Orientica, which does a lot of interpretive fragrances, aka clones, and they said exclusive, Orientica exclusive. But the only one that I could find was exclusive Sport or exclusive Oud Sport. I don't know if that's the one you're referring to, because interpretively, according to the interwebs, that shit is a clone of Percival, which is a very polarizing, peppery, dry fragrance. Like, is that what you were meaning as a must-have for under $50 in the stash? I'm not questioning anybody who likes Percival, kind of, because I like how Percival smells on my skin. But thinking outside of the box and thinking of like the mass appeal, I don't think it was well received by a ton of people. I thought it was very fucking strong, very peppery, dry, punchy. And if you want the spiciness of a spice bomb fragrance with like parfum and extrait concentration, that's a fragrance that really encompasses that shit. But it's also ultra polarizing. There's days that I really fuck with it and there's days that I don't. Like in the cold weather, I can absolutely sense the sexiness of that scent. Again, I have my days with that fragrance, just like with my wife. You know, I have my days that I love her and some days I just want to jump spin, mule kick her in the side of the cheeks. And then she'll shoot me. But is that the fragrance that you meant? And have y'all smelled it? Is it worth it to get? I don't know. So those are the fragrances that were recommended to me to pass on to y'all that are solid for under $50. Well, at least $50 and under $50. Let me know in the comments below what your must-have $50 fragrance is. Don't forget to follow me on the community board. I will be posting mad questions. It'll help bring a new air to the content. Let me know if you want more scenery, outdoor shit. I'll freeze my balls off just to make some content to make it a little bit different and do a nice little change of scenery and burn my balls and sweat like a fucking animal outside. I love y'all mother suckers from the heart. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see y'all bitches next time. You know who it is, biggest in the game. Smooches.
For the fly gun holder, money folder, Motorola start tag when it's time to call back. For the rough, rugged, and raw way, this nigga Jay, it's a game, but he don't play. Hey, for all the chicks that got dead in the penthouse suite on top of my mom's crib. It's nonsense you never get in. It's nonsense that you would think that you would.